So that's at the Dollar Tree. We're going to be picking up supplies to make lightsabers. We're going to make a green and a red. So here we are at the Dollar Tree, and as you can see, they're round. These are the ones that we actually need as opposed to the star ones. And that will help us out a lot better as we create our own sabers. So now the question is, which type of tape we're going to use. We're going to be using duct tape. We have the green and the red. We're going to make a Kylo Ren and a Luke, as well as an Ezra Bridger one. So we're going to use silver, and we're also going to look for black. So here we are, we have these. We're going to use silver primarily. There's gold or brown in both sabers for Luke and Ezra. They're almost identical, actually. Then I have the black for Kylo Ren's saber. Everything you need is going to be all set. Scissors I already had, but you can always get them at the Dollar Tree as well, because everything you need is at the Dollar Tree. Now what you want to do is you want to take these stickers off, because let's face it, you're not going to really use them. The Kylo Ren one I'm going to be doing separately, for the simple fact is that it has more pieces to it, if you remember what a cross lightsaber looks like. Now for the actual lightsaber, what you're doing is just taking the long elongated pull stick here, and you're just going to cut it right down the center. Now I have the scissors for this, and it's foam, so it should be cutting fairly easy. Now if you notice, it has this jagged side, so this is going to be the bottom part that we're going to have, and we're going to put the duct tape over it, so that way you have a clean beginning here at the top. So the lightsaber itself will have, probably about 1/3 of the way up, so approximately this much here, enough for about a hand and a half to hold. Again, this is primarily for kids, but it's good for adults too. So what I ended up here doing was taking 2 pieces of strip, and I'm just made a big X or a cross on it. This way it covers up for most of the base, and you can see that's the imbalance. Now what I'm going to do is start up from here with tape and just work my way down until I get everything nice and wrapped up. So this is all one silver piece. So there you have this part section here. Remember, I got the gold, so I'm going to put a little gold strip around here as well. Now what you want to do is, as you're putting it on and layering it one on top of each other, you can either try to match the pattern. As you can see, I did it up here, but I wasn't able to carry that on through. You just want to make sure that you give it tight squeezes so that the duct tape adheres to the foam as well as to one another. You're going to be just wrapping it around each other, etc. Don't worry about the bubbles here. You know, it's going to be used for kids fighting with each other. So you're all set. So since the duct tape is kind of thick in terms of its width, what I did was I just cut it in half and circled it around, and you have that gold part that Luke Skywalker has. Now again, Ezra Bridger's lightsaber is nigh identical to Luke's, so what we're going to end up doing is this exact same saber, we're just going to call it Ezra's. Alright, so what I did was I went back and I put the little tab here for the ignition for the sabers. And with Ezra, I just did a little piece up here because he did have ones that were similar to Kanan. And I just made his lightsaber handle just a little bit bigger, just because he had, it just seemed longer in Star Wars Rebel the last season. And here we have 2 perfectly good lightsabers. They're safe to use. They won't hurt you. Up next, Kylo Ren. So Luke Skywalker has a little bit of black, and I'm using it here. This way it'll differentiate between Ezra and Luke's. Now, with Kylo Ren's, his is a longer saber. So what I'm going to end up doing is, instead of cutting it in half for both, I'm going to go up approximately 1/3 of the way up here, and then I'm going to use the smaller sections. So what I'm going to do is start cutting here, and I'm going to leave, see, you hear that crackle? That means it's cutting up nicely. So now I have this piece here, and it's going to be used for the cross. So I'm going to the middle here, and I'm going to just cut this in half. Now as you can see, the edges here are a little bit jaded. However, Kylo Ren's saber is jaded, so we're going to leave these at the top. Normally I would cover them up with tape just so that it doesn't tear anymore. However, aesthetically it's more pleasing for it. What I'm going to do is also take part of this here, and just cut out almost probably about 2 fingers worth, or 2 fingers deep, so I can fit it here, because we do need to fit it into the sabers, because we do need to tape that off. So when we're going to tape it on, it's going to look something like this, and you can see it's still extended. We'll have the black tape running from here all the way down, but first we got to tape these edges down. So this is how I'm going to be doing it, and just putting in a couple pieces of tape there, and again back here in the bottom as well as up here, and then I'll move on to the next one. It's important to note that you should get little pieces of tape to cover up these blank spaces before we actually do any of the actual taping. This is how it looks so far. Now what I'm going to do is put a piece of tape through here as well as here to connect the two, just to hold the integrity of the shape a lot more. And then all we're going to do is just start duct taping everything down as normal. So I have this taped off. I taped off the bottom, I taped off the sides here, and I put tape down the middle here just to make sure that it holds in place, because we're going to have to wrap the tape around it. So we want to make sure everything is in place and secure. So this is how it would look completed, and as you can see, the saber is extended, so it's a lot sturdier. Now it doesn't have a lot of whistles and bells, but I know that Kylo Ren has a section here, so I'm going to get a little bit of the silver tape, and I'm going to put an extension here for the activation of the sabers. So here we have this, and I know he has a section here where it has exposed wiring. I'm just keeping it there for right now, just because it adds a little aesthetic to it, and it doesn't seem like a big black and red disaster. And see, there you have the Kylo Ren, Luke Skywalker, and it's fun, easy to play, and you don't have to worry about hurting yourself or causing seriously injury to one another, and everything will be all set.
And these are so soft, so if you like hit something, it will do like no hurts.
Exactly, and that's the whole point. Have fun playing Star Wars, be a Jedi, be a Knight of Ren, be a Sith,
and may the Force be with you.
Amen.